Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cook That Book, Hacks to Writing the Book of Your Dreams. So if you're live, please do say hello. Before we start, it would be absolutely awesome to share this, like this, comment, because this is going to be great. I've just realized I've written for my name Book Journey Mentor. So my name is Daniella Blechner. I'm an author, book journey mentor, founder of a company called Conscious Dreams Publishing. We work with authors from all over the world to help them to get their powerful messages and stories out there in the form of books. So I'm going to crack straight into it, even though I really want to change my title at the bottom, but I will continue. Just want to take this time to say thank you, everybody, for coming in. I know that I've had to cancel a few times due to awful migraines, so I appreciate people checking in and asking me how I am. Thank you. I'm going to say hello, Frutalis. Nice to see you. I'm feeling much better. Thank you for asking. Hello, Lade. Lovely to see you as well. Fantastic. So I'm going to, as I'm speaking to you, actually, before I start, I want you to tell me what you want to get from this webinar, and also what you feel one thing that you are finding challenging about writing your book. I'm going to do a presentation that's going to last for about an hour. There will be time at the end if you have any questions, or you can throw them up in the middle and I'll try to answer those questions as I go. So let's get cracking. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Well, whilst I share this, I just need you to let me know if you can see the screen and if everything is hunky-dory. Okay, please let me know. I'm not able to see any comments unless I am following along on StreamYard. So please let me know if you can see my screen. Although we would like it to be the entire screen, wouldn't we? Excellent. Is it a small screen now at the moment? Because the only thing is, if I try to make it, okay, I think that's the best it's going to be. I'd like to show the entire screen. The only problem with that is if I do that, it means I won't be able to see your comments. So let me try one more time to see if I can get the comments as well as your comments. No, I'm not able to see that. So I'm going to okay, you can see it. I'm going to run it like this. I will work out how to do full screen, but I'm going to crack straight into it now. Hopefully, bear with me. I'm having some technical issues, but I will get there. All right, what I'll do is I'm going to share the full screen. It means I'm not going to be able to see your comments, but I will go to your comments towards the end. So again, if you could let me know if you can definitely see my screen. I'm going to double check. Okay, all right, wonderful. All right, I'm going to crack straight into it. So welcome to Cook That Book, Hacks to Writing the Book of Your Dreams. If in the comments you can let me know your name, what you want to get from this webinar, and one thing that you feel is holding you back during the writing process. So what we're going to cover is, number one, what should be at the heart of your book. 2, how to pump life and longevity into your book. 3, how structuring your book will save you many sleepless nights. Time is precious, and this is something that's really, really important. So this webinar is going to help you save time, money, not getting any sales, having a book lost on the shelves, or not having a book at all, and therefore losing confidence in the belief. In this webinar, you will gain time, you will gain money. Raise your hand if you'd like some money. You're going to gain sales, you're going to gain readers. Very important if you're going to be an author. You're going to gain clients. You're going to have a successful book, and you're going to gain confidence if you implement the things that you learn in this webinar. So why now? Why write your book now? There's never been a better time to be an author because it opens doors and opportunities. When I published my first book, I really didn't realize how much, the wealth of opportunities that were going to be coming. There's so many things you can do if you plan with the right vision. It enhances your credibility. It establishes you as an authority in your field. It leverages your business. And remember, if you don't have a business, if you have a book, you have a business. Okay. And it puts you in front of a global audience. Raise your hand if you want to be in front of a global audience using the emoji because I can't see you all. Little facts here. Publishers Weekly reports that print book sales rose more than 8.9% during the start of 2020. So people are reading print books. Don't listen to what people say. Kindle's great. Audiobooks are fantastic. We have audiobook services, but people are reading print books. 53% of UK adults say that they have read a book in the last year, and it was most likely a physical book. Data from World Panel Division shows that the market is looking healthy with a 2.3% growth year on year, just in case you were wondering. So why me? If you're not familiar with who I am, my name is Daniella Blechner. I'm an author, book journey mentor, founder of a company called Conscious Dreams Publishing. We've been going for 9 years now. I'm an award-winning publisher and author. I've written and published 9 books. One of them is translated into 3 different languages, which I'm very excited about. I've published over 300 authors' books. I've mentored over 1,000 authors and aspiring authors. I've helped acquire mass and viral media coverage for 8-year-old, well, quite a few of our authors, but namely an 8-year-old author, Tiana, who's amazing, and 12-year-old author, Sarah Kito, on ITV, Channel 5, BBC, Radio London, Sky TV, The Metro, and lots of other outlets. I've helped authors get to #1 bestseller status. I've had my book in the front window of Waterstones. I've helped authors gain their books into bookstores. I've climbed Mount Kilimanjaro and got to the top, which shows that I am determined. And if you want to be a successful author, you do need to be determined. A little bit of a fun fact, background knowledge on me is I wrote my first comedy play at 17 featuring Julie Ashray and Richard Blackwood, well-known comedians. I've also been shortlisted for Channel 4's Coming Up scheme as a writer. So writing is really something that is in my heart. In fact, I became a publisher almost accidentally and organically because I ended up helping people and seeing that there was a need for people to understand how to publish their books successfully because they weren't getting that chance to do it traditionally. I used to be a filmmaker and I have had my films featured at the Pan-African Film Festival in LA, Chicago Film Festival and BAM Kids Film Festival in New York, which was a lot of fun. Awesome. You can see the screen you're watching from USA. Have some thoughts about a book, but my family mentors growing. Hey, Camilla, thank you. Making money. Yes, thumbs up to making money. Fantastic. Okay. So just checking that. Okay, it's still going. Fantastic. Hopefully you can see my screen, full screen. So these are just some of the 9 books that I have published. Social proof, you can see my book, Mr. Wrong, which I wrote 10 years ago. Happily to say I do have my Mr. Right. So there's my book in the front window of Waterstones on Valentine's Day. So do not let anybody tell you as a self-published author, it is not possible. It is more than possible. Okay, so I hope you have a notepad and pen. If you don't, I'll give you a few minutes just to go and get one. I've got a fantastic notebook from Street Greets. Check them out if you can. They have brilliant greeting cards and notebooks, Street Greets. So #1 is what should be at the heart of your book. #1, what should be at the heart of your book? What should be at the heart of your book should be your message and your why. This is integral to everything you do from here on. Why is it important? It creates clarity. It creates connection to your reader. Everything you're doing should be about creating connection to your reader. It helps you to structure your book. If you don't know what your message and your why is, your book is going to go way off piste and you lose that structure. And I'm going to be speaking about structure a little bit later. It's so important to keep your reader engaged. Your message and your why puts you in the shoes of your reader. Your reader is who you are writing for. Oh, someone's saying my PowerPoint is not moving. Oh no. Okay, can we see my PowerPoint? It should be on why is it important. Please let me know if you can see that. Please let me know if you can see my presentation and if it's moving. I can see that on, it's really important that I want you to make sure that you can see everything. Currently, data from World Panel Division shows. Okay, it looks like it's stuck on one. Can somebody please let me know what they can see? It wasn't moving, but now it's fine. Okay, great. I don't know how to go back. Do you know what? I should have practiced this before on StreamYard. I have used it before and it hasn't been a problem. So I'm not sure why it's not working. Okay. No, my camera's gone. Oh no. Okay. Bear with me. Thank you so much for being so patient. I am going to get my slides to come back up. Oh, okay. I figured it out. Okay, so these are the slides that you haven't seen. Why me? A little bit about myself. I showed you my published books. I showed you. No, this isn't the right one. What's happening? Bear with me. I'm getting technical support. My partner's coming in. He's the one that told me it wasn't working. Okay. It's not that one. Okay, thank you everybody for being so patient. I was on a roll there. Nope. Okay, only just joined. Hello, thank you so much for joining. My PowerPoint's just messed up a little bit, but just bear with me while I try and get it back on. The only thing is I can share it, but people are saying that it's not moving. So which one? Which one? That one. This one? Mm-hmm. No, okay. Well, if you watch it, let me know. Can you please let me know what the slide is showing now? It should be what authors tend to do wrong. And if you've just joined, please let me know one thing that you want to get from this webinar. And yeah, it should be about creating. One thing that you want to get from this webinar, and also one thing that you find challenging about writing your book. Please let me know what you can see on the screen. It should be, click on the slides on the left. It should be what authors tend to do wrong. Can you see that?
No, still otherwise.
No.
You've got a bit of a lag there.
Click on the slides on the left. Okay, which slides am I clicking on? No, it's not. So you have to move through the slides manually by selecting the next slide. That's what I was doing, but what I'm doing now, there's no way of me selecting that I can see. I have done this before and it's worked. It's not there, babe, because that's
Things freezing
up. I can't believe this is happening. It's moved now. Okay, so we can see what authors tend to do wrong. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to see if I can. Okay, let me see if that works. All right. Okay, I figured it out. Thank you so much. I have to have two different screens on. Thank you so much for your patience. Really appreciated. Oh, the perfectionist in me is like, no. So I was talking about why your message and your why is so important. Okay, so what authors tend to do wrong is they're unclear about the message. They have too many messages. They find unable to articulate the message and their why in the blurb and book marketing. you need to be able to get across, whether it's in an interview, whether it's in your book description, or whether it's your blurb, your message and your why. It needs to be congruent and clear throughout. Here we go. What to do instead? Have a clear and unmistakable message. Make sure that your message is coherent through each chapter. Write down your why, live it, breathe it. I'll give you a bit of an example after I show you someone who I think is fantastic. His name is Simon Sinek. He's a serial entrepreneur. He advises conglomerate companies such as Apple, getting them to think about why they're doing what they're doing, not what they're doing. He says people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. For example, my first book, Mr. Wrong, like I said, I now have my Mr. Right. I wrote this book. It's not a man-bashing book, but I wrote this book because I found that there were so many books that tell women, you know, how to be, what to say. Yes, I'm using streamers. Hey, Janine, what to say, how to play games, you know, in order to get a man, but nothing out there that truly told you how to love yourself, how to value yourself, how to understand what your values are, you know, what your needs are, how to value those, you know, the power of forgiveness, how we can learn from the choices we make rather than berate ourselves. I wanted to create a safe space for women and men to discuss and have an honest dialogue about, you know, relationships, how we view them, how we view ourselves, how our childhood has an effect on the people that we choose and the relationships we have. You know, and have a book there without blame, and a place where we can laugh, where we can cry. And it wasn't so much about what it is, it's about why I was doing it. And I found that that is what sold the book, not what the book was. So let's meet Tiano. She is an amazing young girl. She came to me when she was 7 years old. She had 3 manuscripts. The book that I said she should definitely go for. Hey, Faye, you're here. Hooray. You've been on YouTube, unable to type in chat. I'm glad you can type here. So she came to me with 3 different ideas. And one of the books she wrote was called My Afro. And I said, that is the book. And then I asked her why she wrote the book. She said she wrote the book because when she was very, very young, even though she was 7 at the time, you know, a boy in her class said something mean to her about her hair. She was the only person in the class who had an afro. And it made her feel really unconfident, insecure, and ashamed of who she was. And then she got to a stage where she thought, well, I don't want other young Black girls to feel like this. I want them to feel proud of their hair, but I also want to educate people that, you know, we all are different and we all deserve to be treated and respected, treated fairly and respected. And the great thing about this young girl is she ended up, it wasn't just a book, she ended up going on some huge major channels such as the Metro. She was on the Kelly Clarkson show. They reached out to us. She was in Ebony magazine. She was on Good Morning America. Here she is. She was on ITV, BBC Breakfast. No, was it Television Breakfast in Canada? All because her why and her message was really strong. And what the beauty of this was, oh yeah, and they came to her school as well, and did a cover, a feature on her. But what was beautiful about this is that she succeeded in her why and her message, because the person who'd said something horrible to her actually wrote her a letter of apology and said, you know, from now on, I'm always going to respect people's differences. And he said that her hair was lovely. So that is a huge win. An absolutely huge win. So I'm going to give you time for a little exercise here. I want you to write down your why and your message. Don't worry about the vision. What is your why and what is your message? Why are you writing the book that you're writing? Why is it important? Remember, your why is always bigger than you. Whenever I felt like I didn't want to write the book, you know, I come from a family where you don't chat your business, you don't air your dirty laundry. Although that wasn't quite what I was doing, I was sharing some personal parts of my life. And I realized actually I've got to step away and outside of that and think about the people that this book can help. And I know it has helped people. So I want you to write down what your why is and what your message is. You can't share it with the person next to you, but you can write it in the chat. Okay, so here's an example. My message is for all little Black girls to have pride in their hair and celebrate their identity. My vision is to share my message globally on radio and television. My why is that I know how it feels to be made fun of, and I don't want any other girls to have to go through that. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to write down your message and your why. And while you're writing it down, I'm just going to say hello to some people. Hello there, Margie, fellow poet. Hello there, Faye Helder Welsh. Lovely to see you. Hello there, Janine, live streaming queen. Hey there, Joanne. Hey, Lade. Fantastic, thank you. Frutalis, lovely to see you as well. I've now figured out how to use a slideshow, so thank you. Camilla, nice to meet you. Alison Ryan Chase, big up Alison Ryan Chase. Her book is on my shelf, Downloads from Heaven, one of our lovely authors. Lamia says, my hyperactive children and pressure to return to work is blocking me from getting my book complete. Also, anxiety doesn't help. Let's have another chat. I do offer free 30-minute consultations. I'll throw that information up on the screen in a second. But I just want to see if anyone's typed in the chat, what is their message and what is their why? Technology, please be my friend today. I don't know why it doesn't want to be my friend. Okay, there you go. We're back on. What's your message and what is your why? So Margie says, why is to identify other cultural misfits. Okay, fantastic. Message, there is a space for you no matter what. Brilliant. And I'm thinking, kind of going a little bit deeper than that. Maybe that comes from your personal experience, or people that maybe you have a personal relationship with, feeling maybe on the outskirts or on the fringes, maybe feel like a bit of a cultural misfit. So that is the story that people want to get. Yeah. So although you don't need to write out your whole story, when you're giving interviews, it's giving it that personal touch. Why is this subject important to you? Why is it important that you are the one sending this message? What's your personal experience with this? People are nosy. They like to connect. They want to know you as the person. Okay. So that is your message and your why. So while you may still be thinking about it, I'm going to introduce you to another one of my authors back from 2017. Her name is Gosha, amazing young woman. She is a transformational coach. She had a very clear and unmistakable message. She wrote a book called The Expansion Game. Her story is phenomenal. But in short, The Expansion Game is a technique or modality she created that helps people to transform their greatest fear into their greatest brilliance. And she actually works with a lot of our authors to help them to overcome a lot of the fears and the blocks. I've personally seen her work. She's come to a lot of our workshops and run a session with our authors, and the transformations and breakthroughs that she makes with the authors in a matter of 15 minutes is phenomenal. If you've just joined, hello, lovely to see you. You are halfway through, a third of the way through Hacks to Writing the Book of Your Dreams. Cook that book, Hacks to Writing the Book of Your Dreams. There is going to be a special offer for you at the end. So what I'd really appreciate is, wherever you're watching this, if you can like this, if you can share this, and if you can comment, you will be in the runnings to having maybe grabbing that special offer at the end. So thank you so much. We are on the first step of ensuring you're writing the book of your dreams, and the first mission was to make sure you have a clear message and why. So Gosha has a very interesting story, and her message was really clear. Her message was really clear throughout the book, but also throughout her work as a transformational coach. Her case studies and clients echo this message. Her whole brand emanates this message. Just in short, she created a modality. And before she'd even given it a name, somebody had said to her, Gosha, this modality you've created, what's the name of it? Because I want to include it in my book. And she's like, name? I haven't given it a name. And that's when she realized the importance of the work that she's doing. Often we give our services away, or we charge for them. We offer our services, but we don't see the full value of them until somebody else says, hey, I want to write about what you do. And she thought, right, I need to give it a name, and I need to write about this modality. So she called the modality the expansion game. The book was called The Expansion Game, and it was all about transforming your fear into your greatest brilliance. And she's created a whole vision around this. She's got workshops called The Expansion Game, the techniques called The Expansion Game. She runs events called The Expansion Game. Can you see where I'm going? She thinks it's about thinking beyond the book. Okay. And she's been really, really successful. And the interesting thing about Gosha is she's severely dyslexic, and she tells this story. So she had to use the expansion game on herself in order for her to get rid of some of those blocks about not being good enough. Who's going to read my story? Is it going to be, professional enough? She had to use this on herself in order for her to write this book that she's been wanting to write for 10 years. And then she became a #1 international bestseller, not just for a day or a week, but for 2 months in multiple countries, USA being one of them. This increased her clients, also increased her revenue. It put her in front of huge audiences internationally. She's managed to streamline her business and services, and all of them have a congruent, clear message, not 10 different messages that are confusing, one clear message. And she shares her personal why and story. And this has helped her connect to new clients who could relate to her or who were inspired by her. She's brilliant. So this is an example of why your message and your why is so important. So Jay Benrose says, I can't narrow down my message. This is a problem, I know, but my why is my children and the next generation. So when I say why, think about your message first of your book. Get the message down and then ask yourself, why is it important that I share this message? Why is this important? Yes, our children and the next generation are important, but why is it important that you share this message? And that will really help you to get really clear on that. Camilla says, I'm a poet with a manuscript. Currently, however, a self-revelation about my self-development story is brewing. Fantastic. I've been a therapist and I know clients have stories. My personal story is brewing. Well, you are watching the right webinar, taking part in the right webinar, Cook That Book. Let's see what's brewing. All right, next. Number 2 is we're going to look at how to pump life and longevity into your book. Have a clear vision. Like I said, when I wrote Mr. Wrong, it's because I just wanted to get things, I actually wanted to write a children's fantasy novel, which I'm still writing. But, Mr. Wrong was something that was just on my heart because it was immediate. It was happening now. And I'd learned so much as well. And it was just a book that was meant to be because it's created everything off the back of that. But I hadn't realized just how many opportunities that were going to come, flying at me, talks, going to groups, running workshops, speaking on stage, being on radio shows. They were all just coming. So it's really important getting my book into bookstores. So try and think beyond that book. If you have a business, your book will be part of your marketing plan, part of your business plan. It's not just you selling a book. It's so much bigger than that. Okay. Writing your book is only the first part of the process. Your book needs to be leveraged. You need to know where you want your book to go. Have future plans for your book. Imagine it's like, having a baby. Plan for the first, obviously you're going to plan longer than that, but like the first year of a book's life is so important. Just plan for it, map down where do you want the book to go? How are you going to get it in the hands of the readers? What are you going to do to get there? It's going to help you to increase your visibility and discoverability. If you don't promote or market your book, you won't get sales. And this is one of the things that really upsets me when I speak to authors and I do 20-minute consultations. They say they're self-published or maybe they've published elsewhere. And I say, how many books have you sold? What's your marketing plan? What have you been doing to get it out there? And they say nothing. It's just heartbreaking because there's so much you can do. There's so much. I mean, it's a whole new webinar. There's so much you can do to really get your book out there into the hands of the readers and get those sales. The last thing you want to do is put all this effort and time and just not market it, not get those sales. You're going to lose confidence. You want to increase your revenue. Of course you do. You want to increase opportunities for press coverage, speaking gigs, events, bookstores, libraries, school visits. Increases your credibility and it establishes your expertise. For example, as Gosha, you can only get in front of so many people physically. With a book, you can get in front of a global market. And when you have a book, as long as it's written well, people get a real sense of who you are. Your voice shines through. You can advertise your services in there, and it does increase your credibility and expertise in others' eyes. So what authors tend to do wrong is not having a vision at all, not knowing what you want the book to do or where you want it to go, pushing their book out there with no plan. For example, I have a lot of people who come to me, they submit, let's say November, as we are now, and they say, when do you want to publish? What's your plan? In December. Not going to happen. You've got to be really realistic. You've got to give time to, number one, edit, design, and everything else with the book, but you want to give good time to have a marketing strategy, to promote it properly, to have a vision. There's nothing worse than spending so long writing a book, getting it to a publishable stage. You haven't told anyone about it. No one's gone on the journey with you. You haven't built a community, and you've just put a link out there saying, my book's out, and you're expecting people to buy it. They might be excited for that one day, but you've got to have that steady build up. Poor marketing, decreased interest and visibility. Again, that's going to give you no sales and your confidence is going to go down. Well, mine definitely would. And you're back to square one. We can prevent this from happening. Why is based good? Okay, so Camilla says her why is based on overcoming obstacles and persistence, a self-story. Fantastic. I love that. Thank you. So what to do instead is to plan how you will reach your audience. Be clear about your audience. Again, when I offer free 20-minute consultations, I ask people, who is your book for? And so many times I get the answer, everyone. Your book is never for everyone. It doesn't mean that anyone can't read it, but the more you try and reach everyone, the more of a disservice you do to your target market. You've got to think from a business point of view. I don't want to use Amazon Waterstones, let's say. Where is your book going to sit in the displays? Yeah, in that bookshop. What colors are there in that particular section of the book? Who's going to be there in that particular section of the bookshop? It can't be everywhere. So just be clear about your audience. Create a marketing plan ahead of writing the book. Decide on the social media you use. So I know TikTok's great at the moment. I'm learning so much about it. Book talk, #BookTok. But if your audience are not on TikTok, then don't be on TikTok. If you're spending all your time on LinkedIn posting, and your book, the audience are on TikTok, you need to get on TikTok. Don't think you need to be on every single social media platform. Choose 2 or 3 where you believe your audience are and really master those platforms. You can make a list of bookstores, libraries, media outlets that you want to contact. Think about organizations you want to affiliate with. So, for example, my sister's a holistic health coach, and she wrote a book with us called Self-Care for Life in the City. Excellent book. You can check it out. And I said to her, well, why don't you do this? Think about organizations that you can, affiliate with that have something to do with the subject that you are talking about. Get them to sponsor you. For another example, one of my books, I worked with, I can't remember the name of the company. Oh no, it was a charity organization. So you're leveraging from their platform, and they're part of yours. You're affiliating with them. Possible joint venture. What's a joint venture or JV? Again, I said to my sister, you're a holistic health coach. Why don't you team up with somebody who is, I don't know, a juicer or a nutritionist? They're in the same field as you, but they're not doing exactly what you do. Why don't you do a joint webinar? What's the benefit of that? Well, number one, you're sort of cross-pollinating. You're introducing the juicer to your platform, and the juicer's introducing you to their platform. So you're gaining new leads, you're gaining new connections, and connections is everything. Speaking gigs, make a list of speaking gigs that you want to speak at. If you're afraid of speaking, just practice, just focus on your why, focus on why you're doing it, focus on your reader, focus on why this message is so important and who you're helping with your story. I found that really helpful when I first started speaking. So meet Usha Chudasama. Again, this is one of my very first authors back in 2017. She'd been working with another company who were charging thousands to publish her book, and she hadn't got anywhere. And she did the Power of Your Story workshop with us, and she published with us, and we helped her with a clear strategy. Her book is called Your Happy Child, 10 Proven Steps to Raising a Happy Child. She's a child and adult psychologist. She had a very clear vision to create multiple streams of income through her book. So her book was a marketing tool to, gain clients for the rest of her services. It wasn't just about the book. That's my key message. So she used the book as a marketing tool for her clients, for her business, to get more clients, exposure for her services, and leverage her expertise. Again, like Gosha, her whole brand emanates that vision. So she has an online course called Your Happy Child. She has workshops called Your Happy Child. She goes into schools and runs group sessions called Your Happy Child. She runs one-to-one sessions called Your Happy Child. You're good at right. And so when she was asking about doing her online course, she was asking how to structure it. And it seemed obvious, because her subtitle is 10 Proven Steps to Raising a Happy Child. So that's 10 proven modules, where you take your audience through those steps. So if you're writing from to share your expertise, this is a really good way to do it. So since publishing her book, she's gone on to launch Your Happy Child workshop, online parenting course. She's run 2 successful online campaigns over lockdown. She's won awards for best parenting and mental health expert, London, and 2 best family focused behavioural specialists in the UK. She's had multiple speaking engagements, podcasts, MPs speaking at her book launch. She's been nominated for 3 book awards, and she's launching a membership site soon based on the principles outlined in her book. So she's doing amazingly well. So I want you to think about your vision now. If you haven't been following me, then you won't know about Sarah Kito, but most people know about Sarah Kito. She's a phenomenal young girl. She's written 4 books. She's just submitted a 5th book to me. Her 4th book was called Amara and the Lost Key, and she speaks really clearly and concisely about why she wrote it. She said that she wanted to show everybody Ghana and share some of her cultural heritage. Her mum being from South Africa and her dad being from Ghana, wanted to share that culture. She had an interview on Sky TV, which is very exciting, and they asked her why she wrote the book, and she said she couldn't find any books that had her image, anyone who looked like her in there, and she wanted to change that and also show people Ghana and the importance of family and legacy. She's a brilliant young girl. She spoke about Alicia Dixon. If you're in the 70s, I was born in the 70s, but we won't go there. If you remember the 90s, you will know her as, being a band member in Mystique. A lot of people know her as Britain's Got Talent judge, I think. But Sarah knows her as an author. And she said she was really inspired by her because she wrote a book called Lightning Girl, and she could relate to the girl who looked like her, same hair as her, same culture. And they surprised her on Sky TV by bringing Alicia Dixon on, and she had no idea, and she was so excited. So this is her. Not only is she an author, she's a philanthropist. She does not keep a single penny of the proceeds she makes. They all go to help homeless people in Croydon, where we both are from. So she supports 2 charities in Croydon. Not only does she do that, but she also has helped to raise over £10,000 to help refurbish a school library in Ghana, which is a whole project in itself. So you can see her there. So her mission was not just about the book. It was about, as I said, sharing her culture, talking about the importance of family and legacy, representation, but also she wanted to raise awareness around homelessness and, you know, used her book to carry out her I can never say this word, philanthropy work. Absolutely phenomenal young lady. I have a meditation here which I'm going to share with you in the comments a bit later. It's a visualization exercise, or if you go over to my YouTube, which is Book Journey Mentor, there is a visualization exercise you can listen to. I love it because it helps you to imagine writing the book. I'm not even going to attempt to try and play it now. I just don't trust it, but I will pop the link in there so you can listen to it. While I'm doing that, I just want to give you a few minutes to write down what your vision is. What is your highest vision of publishing a book? What media outlets can you see yourself in? You know, what stages are you going to be speaking on? What JVs are you going to create? You know, are you going to pair up with organizations that you can affiliate yourself with? I'd love to see your comments. I'd love to see what your vision is. So I'm going to give you a bit of time to write down what your vision is. I feel like maybe I can play a little bit of music while you're doing that. See, oh no, it won't let me. I'll master you one day, StreamYard, I will. So don't be afraid just to write in the comments, what is your highest vision? What can you imagine yourself doing? What stages are you speaking on? Oh. I can see all of your comments now. Fantastic. I can see a lot of people on YouTube. That's brilliant. Okay, a few more minutes, just writing down what is your vision for your book? Where can you see your book going? What stages are you speaking on? What organizations are you going to contact? I'm going to pop the visualization in the comments. So I'm just going to give you, I think, 60 more seconds. This is a beautiful meditation, if I don't mind saying myself. There you go. So Margie says, my vision is that the book would be also a play and a movie. Fantastic. Again, it's thinking outside the box. What other modalities can you use? Documentary? Is it a play? Can it be a movie? Can it be, you know, a webinar series, you know, a drama series, or where people can choose what happens next? I mean, it's limitless. You know, I published a book called here we go, 9 Days of Piper's Snow. There's actually a deal on it at the moment. It was my book anniversary on the 17th of November. It was written in honor of my dad, based on a young girl called Samara, whose father's passed away, and she meets a white pigeon on her windowsill, based on a true story. I've got a white pigeon on my sill right now, and he turned up a year and a half ago after I placed a picture of my late dad on the windowsill. And from here, it's become an animation, which children love. Audiobook coming at some point, but there's so many different things you can do. Okay, wonderful. To have my books in bookshops and sold worldwide, love that. Thank you, laddie. It would appeal to outsiders that don't fit into the norm. Exactly. Fantastic. All right, I'm very interested to hear what some of your stories are. What I'm going to do as well, actually, I'm going to pop in the link a place where you can book me for a free 20-minute consultation. It's just a short form you fill out. Tell me a little bit about your book. Select 20-minute consultation. You'll get an email to book me. I'd love to hear more. Okay, so we're going to move on from the visualization and crack on to our final there you go, 3. Number 3, hopefully you can see that. Number 3, let me know, is structuring your book, creating the roadmap. Why is this important? I cannot stress this enough. And this is the part so many people don't want to do. They just want to hop in. I'm one of those people. You just want to hop in and write the book and write from the heart, from your intuition. But it's important. Why? It creates clarity. It saves time re-editing over and over and over, or losing the will to continue. It helps keep your message congruent and therefore your connection to your reader, which is key. It saves you money and time with an editor. I can't tell you the amount of times that, you know, especially when people are writing their life stories, it's like, yes, I know my story. I just want to go. I've got it. I'm brimming with excitement, and I've got it all here. It's all this inspiration's coming, which is great. But then you get halfway through it, it feels like a maze, but you continue writing or you stop, and you get to your first draft and you hope for the best, and it goes to an editor. Like, it comes to us and we'll say, look, it needs a developmental edit first, which is like a report on your book, looking at plot, pace, message, language. Does it work? Point of view. And then it goes through multiple edits because a lot of work is needed. But when you structure, I promise you it's worth doing. It saves time and heartache, right? And money. As much as you're going to love your editor, hopefully, you don't want to spend that much time with them. All right. It creates a sense of confidence and direction for you as an author when you have structure. So many authors never finish their books because they don't know the direction they're going in. Well-structured books will create reliability and trust and loyalty, therefore long-term clients, which means more sales. If you've taken the time to structure something right, it's going to make sense and people are going to want to come back to you. What authors tend to do wrong, as I said, is they spew out everything onto the page. They don't structure their book. They're writing incoherently. They're going off topic. They're losing the message. They're losing their confidence and the will, and therefore they never publish. You don't want that. What to do instead? Structure your book before you start, please. Here's some little tips. Work out your chapter headings first. If, for example, if you're writing your life story, decide on the starting point. Are you going to start from, I don't know, a certain incident at 5 years old? Or are you going to start from, you know, another particular key incident? And where are you going to end? What's your end point? What's your beginning point? What's your end point? And this is actually quite cathartic. If you've had a difficult life, it's also, yeah, it can be quite challenging and healing at the same time. So map out your life, right? I've done this. You map out your life and then think about key pivotal moments in your life, right? Write them down. This is just for you. Write them down like a timeline. And then maybe choose 12 key pivotal moments. They're going to be your 12 chapters. Give each key pivotal moment a chapter heading. If you were going to give that particular point in your life a chapter heading, what would that be? Write it down. Underneath each heading, you're going to write down what are the key events, what are the key themes, who are the key people. If you're writing a non-fiction book, you know, sharing your expertise, you might want to do this thematically, or like Gosha, if you're going to have a subtitle like 10 proven steps to X, Y, and Z, you're going to use those 10 steps as your chapters, right? So what advice and tips are you going to be giving in that particular chapter? Think about each chapter as if it's its own individual book. What is the key message? Yeah. Imagine your reader's only going to read that one chapter. What's the key message? Then you connect to people through feelings. How do you want your reader to feel? Once you've mapped that out, yes, it might be boring because you just want to get writing, right? I'm talking to myself as well. But what it does is it helps you to not just imagine, but physically see the journey that your reader goes on, all the messages they're getting, all of the feelings they're getting. You know, do you want them to feel supported? Do you want them to feel excitement at this stage? Do you want them to feel like the deep sadness perhaps your character feels at this stage? What is that journey they're going on? Yeah. What advice and tips are you giving? Is your message and your why congruent throughout if you're writing nonfiction? Great. All right. So look at this is Lisa Stebaniak. She's amazing. She is an NLP coach. She wrote a book about child sexual abuse. She came to us and she'd written her book and she wasn't sure how to structure her chapters. In fact, she didn't have any chapters at all. We talk about it a lot. You know, she didn't have any chapters at all. She'd been writing her book for ages and she's got lost in the writing part, especially when you're really attached to your story. So she submitted it without chapters. It was read as one long story. It was very poignant and powerful, and it did give a bit of advice, but it needed revisiting. It needed a developmental edit and a few read-throughs. So we helped her to get really clear on her message, to go back and structure the chapters, and she had to read the book again as the reader and not the author. And that is one of the key things, because sometimes when we're reading through, we're reading it as us and not the reader. So that's another big tip. She's done really well with her book. She launched a powerful book in Blackwell's in Oxford. I got to go to Oxford. It was great. She gained more clients for her business, helping survivors of trauma and overcome their limiting belief systems and live the life they desire. She had an interview on BBC Oxford and BBC Radio Oxford and is doing really well. Little exercise you can do. Don't do it right now. You can do it once this webinar is finished. I'm sure you've all got a book or a bookshelf or 2 or 3. I don't know how many I've got, but yeah, pick up a book from your shelf, right? Go to the contents page. How many chapters are there? What do you notice about the chapters? Are they long chapter names or are they short? Are they catchy? Yeah. Is there a theme throughout the chapter names? Do you have a clear idea of what each chapter will be about? Is that heading or chapter name giving you an idea of what to expect? Do the preceding chapters following I can't say these words. Do the preceding chapters follow the preceding chapters? Can you see how it kind of all sews itself together when you're reading those chapter headings? It really helps to give you an idea about structure. So I haven't finished yet. I hope you found the 3 things that I've offered helpful. I've got so much more to give and some bonus things as well. What I do want you to do is I do have a special offer, and part of that is I'd love it if you could share this, if you could like, and if you could comment, and I'm going to give you an invitation. But first of all, what have we covered today? We've covered what should be at the heart of your book, tick. How to pump life and longevity into your book, and how structuring your book will save you sleepless nights. We've looked at problems aspiring authors have: not knowing how to start writing, not knowing how to structure your book, not being clear about your message and audience, not being sure about what to do after the book is published. If you don't do anything about it, you will have invested countless hours, days, weeks, months, or even years writing a book that never gets published or makes sales. This will not only deprive you of time and money, but also confidence. Think about what your highest vision is. You could be a successful author with a book with a powerful message and story. You could impact hundreds, thousands, millions globally. You could have a steady stream of income, increased visibility and credibility, more clients, more speaking engagements and opportunities, more connection to your readers, loyal readers, and multiple streams of income. So my invitation to you is this. I'm running a workshop called The Power of Your Story, not in Croydon anymore. It will be in Tower Bridge. The Power of Your Story, write your book with purpose and vision. I've been running these workshops. I love doing them. I've been running them since 2016, but this is going to be my last one for a while. It's a place where authors and aspiring authors can get together, share ideas, but really sit down and, well, sometimes you'll be standing up and really get to the heart of what your book is about. So who's this offer for? It's for writers with a powerful message and story to share with the world, writers who want to create a deeper connection with their readers, have an impact on the world, leave a legacy, people who see their book as a business, people who are committed to finishing their book, passionate, ready to rock and roll. So there are only 10 spaces on this workshop, and I have two. I think one's going to go, so I've got 1 or 2 spaces left. I don't do the kind of huge, big workshops. I like the smaller, intimate workshops where I can really get down and make a difference, really work with the group on their books on a one-to-one. And there will be time to write. It's not about me at the front talking. There's going to be lots of interaction, lots of actually doing things, implementing things, and time to write. Okay, so benefits of the offer. Oh, have I said what I'm going to be doing? Benefits of the offer is you will have peace of mind. That is priceless. You're going to have a clear roadmap for your book's vision, clarity and confidence, one-to-one guidance and feedback from myself, accountability and support of the group. And then you also get a one-to-one 1 hour book strategy call with myself, which is normally $297 for that book strategy call. This is not going to come up the way I wanted it, but never mind. It's because I can't put it on slideshow. So in this one-day workshop, you will walk away with a clear chapter outline for your book, a blueprint vision for your book's journey, including your own vision board. We may not be doing vision boards for this particular one, actually, but you'll be having a very clear vision, a clear understanding of the different routes to publishing, an outline of your book pitch, a list of powerful intention and goals for your book, and much, much more. So walk into this workshop and be a wannabe author and leave as an authorpreneur as a plan. So you're not just an author, you're an authorpreneur. The value of this is $597. That includes obviously the one-to-one with me. The price of this is $297. But today, for those of you who watched the webinar, for one lucky person who likes, shares, and comments on this, the special offer is $197. And again, you're going to walk away with a clear chapter outline for your book, a blueprint vision for your book, and a clear vision, a clear understanding of the different routes to publishing, an outline for your book pitch, a list of powerful intentions and goals for your book. What I love about these workshops is that you, as authors, I mean, I can definitely speak for myself, it can be quite lonely, especially when you're writing, whatever you're writing actually, but so especially if you're writing a life story or something that's quite personal to you, the people in your circle are most likely not going to be other authors. They're not likely going to be people who have gone through similar things to you. And what's beautiful is that watching the breakthroughs that happen in that group, I mean, it's just powerful. I've seen some amazing things. Sometimes how you view something just needs another fresh pair of eyes, to somebody to click to join the dots for you, to say, actually, have you thought about this? And, have you thought about this message? Or just make that connection. Or have you thought about this particular audience? Or do you know about this particular opportunity? And those connections that you form within the group are just as powerful as you having a breakthrough about a particular message that you want to share, for example. Oh, okay. If anyone has any questions about anything that I've shared, whether it be the workshop or whether it be to do with a particular, trying to get a particular problem that you're having or struggle that you're having with the writing process, now is the time to throw those questions up. I have an extra 5 minutes. I'm going to put the link, which would help, wouldn't it, for the special offer. There's only 1, possibly 2 spaces left for this particular special offer. So I'm going to put this up here for the power. So that's a link to not only the one-day workshop, I did have this written out, but also a one-to-one book strategy call with me. So I'm going to put that up right now. And if you're on YouTube, I'm going to highlight this for you so you can also see it. There you go. So that's www.tinyurl.com/CDP power of your story. In fact, I'm going to put it up there again. There you go. So yeah, that's www.tinyurl.com/CDP capital letters power of your story. One space left for the workshop. It's from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. at the Leonardo Hotel in Tower Bridge. It's only for 10 aspiring authors. I have one, possibly two places left at that discounted rate. If anyone have any questions, please throw those up. KDP says, can authors publish under aliases or another name? Absolutely. I know some authors who publish different genres, shall we say. One genre, they don't really want to be identified. It's erotica that they write. So they're known by a pen name. Very, what's the word? Very popular and very... doing very well, but they don't have their face to it. Yeah, it can work. You've got to have a really good social media presence. The book needs to sell itself, right? But I mean, it really depends on the reason for having the alias name. It really depends on your vision. If you want to have radio interviews, for example, if you want to get media coverage, you can still use the alias name. Think about E.L. James, but you want to show your face to your story, because remember, people connect to you, the person. What date is the course? Yeah, sorry, it's Saturday the 30th of November. So Saturday the 30th of November, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And again, that's www.tinyurl.com/CDP power of your story. Listen, running this workshop is one of my absolute favorite things to do. You know, I love working, you know, on a one-to-one with authors. I love the publishing process, absolutely love it. But there's something really magical about these workshops. If you go over to the link now, you'll see just some of the testimonials, some of the breakthroughs that just happen as a result of sometimes even just being there is just phenomenal. I've been running them since 2016. Every session is different. I'm in touch with most of the people who have done the workshops. In fact, one of the workshops right in the beginning, 2017 and also 2018, a lot of those authors, we did vision boards at that time, or got them to map out their vision. It's been phenomenal to watch them, because some of them are my really good friends now. And we'll talk about the vision boards. They'll say, oh my gosh, I remember I put wanting to be on this particular radio show on my vision board, or I had a picture of me speaking on stage. I've never spoken on stage in my life, and now this is what I'm doing. You know, and sometimes they forget. It's when they pull out their vision board, they're like, oh, done this, done that. And it's just powerful. It doesn't always have to be creating a vision board. It can be just writing down your vision, which is what we're going to be doing in that workshop. Yeah, I absolutely love it. But I am scaling back a little bit now on doing workshops and events next year, purely because I'm getting married, and I'm just, sounds really weird saying that. You know, I'm putting a lot of focus and energy into planning that, which is like 10 book launches in one. So I'm scaling back on doing my workshop. So it will be the last one for a while. Oh, Magina, she's coming. Thanks for the invaluable lesson session. I booked my space weeks ago and I can't wait to be there. Magina, yes, I think you're one of the first. Very exciting. So we have 9 people booked, and it really is for 10. I like the 10, but I can go for 11. 11 will be the magic number. So we have 1 or 2 spaces left. That's The Power of Your Story, Saturday, the 30th of November, www.tinyurl.com/CDP Power of Your Story. And I spelt your wrong because I was rushing. I copied and pasted it and I put it in there before, but I lost the copy and paste. Oh dear. Here you go. Let me do it again. This is where I need my PA. I've got an amazing PA called Ruby. She's fantastic. There you go. www.tinyurl.com/CDP capitals Power of Your Story. Fantastic, Margie. Brilliant. There's the link there. So, like I said, 1 or 2 spaces left, and the first person to book will get that free one-to-one book strategy call on top of the workshop. That's only for one person, only for one. Yeah. I hope you've enjoyed today. I've got so much more to offer and to share, but I've tried to squeeze everything into an hour. There you go, hour and 10 minutes I've gone. So I'm going to leave it at saying thank you so much. If you're not connected with me, you can book me for a free, it's now 20-minute consultation now, sorry. Free 20-minute consultation. Go to www.consciousdreamspublishing.com on the homepage or /contact. Fill out a little form. Tell me a little bit about your project. You can also have a look at our services and everything else that we do. We do quite a lot more beyond just publishing. Check it out. Drop me a message. If you have any questions about the session today and you think about it, long after the session, drop me an email, Daniella@consciousdreamspublishing.com. I hope you have an awesome evening. So my partner Neville's just come on. Ruby, what about me? Yes, you're a fantastic PA. That's why I'm marrying you. I have tech issues with the internet. Oh, okay, no worries. I'll send you the link directly, Margie. Okay. Thank you everybody so much for joining. It's been an absolute pleasure. Again, if you found this of value and worth, how could you not? Please like, share, and comment. Let as many people know about this as possible. Tomorrow I'm going to be back on Between the Covers, and I'll be interviewing our lovely author Yeshiva, who's published 5 books with us now, one in 4 different languages. She's published a colouring book called Colour with Clever Chrissy and Friends. I'll be speaking with her tomorrow at 7 p.m. GMT, 2 p.m. EST. Have a fantastic evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you for bearing with the tech issues. Really, really appreciate it. Have a beautiful evening. Bye.